Sonic Underground Episode 3, Harmony or something. That's an impressively self-aware title considering the infamy of the show's songs. It also works in-universe as something Manic would say. At first, Robotnik wants to roboticize the bounty hunters because of a mistake they made. Why didn't he do that in the first place, the idiot? I don't understand why he can't do that and then replace the bounty hunters. One of them gives him camera footage of the heroes training, and Robotnik says that since he's a benevolent ruler, he'll give them one last chance. Let me guess, this won't be their last chance. He also is disgusted by them kissing his foot. So he contrasts the other Robotniks because he kind of thinks he's a righteous ruler, or pretends to be. And he hates his foot being kissed while Adventures of Sonic Robotnik orders that to happen. The former is more realistic of a ruler. After the heroes dodge an explosion, Sonia calls Sonic Sonic Hedgehog and nags him. After Sonic blows it so they can't harmonize in their music, good because I didn't want to hear a song, one of their escape routes is destroyed. I really like that their instruments showing up is actually justified by their medallions being magical rather than them getting their instruments out of nowhere every single time. That alone is much better writing than Adventures of Sonic had. Sonia mentions that if an air elemental touches the Earth, it'll be destroyed. And it's implied that Sonic doesn't go to school, probably because of Chuck being busy with rebelling with them. So learning about air elementals is a part of school for Mobius. Makes sense, since it's part of their world. Sonia comes up with a plan, and when the dragon flies towards them, Manic plays a drum and magically pushes up some earth to the dragon, which makes it explode, but also surrounds it with electricity before it explodes, which confused me and I had to rewind to see the earth actually go up to him. Why would electricity even show up in the first place? I do like the idea of the air elemental being destroyed by Earth though, since Earth is their opposite. A cloaked guy has a headache and says that some people in Robotropolis have actually been killed after some robots shot buildings in it. So does he get a headache every single time that some people somewhere die? You'd think he would always have a headache then. An old buddy of Sonic's is shown to be threatened by large robots and Sonic wants to save him. He's a guy we've never seen before with no implication that he knew him before, and Sonic never went to school. After Sonia nags Sonic about wanting to risk his neck to save Trevor, and Sonic charmingly remarks that she's flattering him.
Gee, I wish I had time for this flattery, but...
She suddenly says that Sonic has a good heart and she'll support him. The guy warps them away and is lampshaded that they weren't sent to Robotnik's headquarters, because that would have been more convenient. If being lampshaded doesn't make it make sense, they shouldn't be helped by people way more powerful than them. Why would those people not take down Robotnik? Manic lockpicks to get through a sewer place, and we see some rich snobs sucking up to Robotnik while talking a very stereotypical parody rich man voice that completely takes me out of it. Then Robotnik shows Lady Windermere, Sonia's adopted mom, and he uses her as an example to intimidate the rich man. He really appreciates having rich people around to make money off them. But seriously, why wouldn't he just roboticize them anyways, and let them keep working the jobs they did before and thus keep getting money for them? I don't understand. What about them being made of metal and having no free will to oppose Eggman would keep them from making money for Robotnik? It's revealed that Robotnik wants to use a machine to get info out of Trevor's brain, and Sonia briefly wants to rescue her mom even though she's already been roboticized and they have no cure for roboticization, with Manic reasoning with her for once. A heat source is detected by the bad guys with Sonia's picture there. I hate that Sonic's I'm Waiting is in this show too. It's really out of place and annoying. Sonic nags Manic about stealing and says that Manic might set off the alarm. Sonia uses technology to discover where they need to go next, and the bad guys say that they've deployed forces for the Oracle's cave. Sonic says they have to warn the Oracle, and Manic tells them where they should go, and Sonic actually flies up in the air with his siblings, without even spinning in place as a tornado to do it. That's different. Robotnik sees footage of the heroes and sends robots after them, and out of nowhere it's revealed that Trevor has already been rescued by the heroes off screen. That's not as satisfying. Sonia complains about her siblings cracking jokes in a dangerous situation. I guess because she's worried that it'll jinx it. And then when she suggests stealing an airship, Manic briefly jokes about her hypocrisy because she has no problem stealing from Robotnik. Manic says that the only way past Robotnik's security system thing is with the frequency harmonizer that he just stole off screen. Why did he get the idea to steal it? How would he know what it is? Also, Trevor ran off and comes back piloting an airship being useful, earning my respect. I like how serious he looks. Manic kind of sounds like he's a kid who's a future stoner with his laid-back way of speaking. A robot tells Robotnik that a ship has been found abandoned, and Robotnik melodramatically screams no. No! Which I really smiled at. That was funny. We get shown an icy mountain, and Sonic asks where the Oracle's cave is. A robotic voice tells Robotnik that an unauthorized airship is approaching, and he sees that the heroes are the ones flying it. Manic suggests flying after Robotnik's ships to find the Oracle's cave, naturally since they both want to go to the same place. Then Robotnik reveals to the heroes that the ship's self-destruct mechanism has been activated remotely. I guess that was put there as an anti-traitor mechanism. And the hatches have been locked down. Manic really looks good with its medallion. Sonic asks him why he listened to him. He didn't, fortunately, as Manic used something he stole to let them escape the airship. Why did he mess with him by making Sonic think he did listen to him and not steal something? It would be more satisfying if we actually saw Manic steal stuff long before he used it. Then it would feel like a Chekhov's gun. It feels like a bit of a Deus Ex Machina because his stolen stuff comes out of nowhere, and I'm not sure how he knows that he should steal it, since how would he know what it does? I guess he steals stuff that he isn't. How can you sell something on the black market if you don't know what it does? And you can't know what it does because you don't know what it looks like it would be, and it's not like it's covered in gold to make money off it from that, and you don't have the blueprints for it, so you won't know that way. I guess he just steals whatever he sees. The heroes land in snow, and Sonic runs off with them, and then we see them on a rickety bridge that breaks, swinging them into a cliff, making the people other than Sonia look smarter than her because they were smart enough to take the risk of climbing below the bridge, so they would be holding onto the ropes when the bridge would break, while Sonia was more of a normal person and walked on the bridge. Before they can climb up the bridge snaps entirely and they land on a rocky platform. After Sonia complains about Sonic, they see a hologram of Sonic's mom telling them to work together and commit to their cause so they can always use their medallions. I don't understand why people would manufacture those medallions to need them to harmonize and work together in order for them to work. You'd think they would want to guarantee that the medallions would work to guarantee that Robotnik would be taken down. Anyways, Sonia heartwarmingly hugs Sonic as Sonic says that she's alright. The bond between the siblings is always a source of sweetness and charm for the show, especially since Sonic usually doesn't get to have actual siblings. And I guess it makes sense that he would show love to Sonia because she is his sister after all. That's kind of how the brain works, even though we didn't grow up with her, so we shouldn't really think of her as his sister yet. So how did Sonic's mom know to send her hologram to this specific place? She knew enough to know that the Oracle was in danger. Did she have access to flying cameras everywhere? As a former queen, I guess she would have a lot of money. But who builds the flying cameras for her? It's not like Sadie M, where Robotnik used to work for the royal family, and though she might have plenty of technology left over from that. I don't think there was a real backstory for Robotnik rising to power, but I haven't watched ahead. It must be the Oracle using magic to do it. The heroes play a song, their mother smiles at them, and their medallions start shining, letting Sonic go fly with them up a cliff so they can go fight some robots. Okay, so maybe the reason that Sonic being able to outright fly is justified is that it's his magical medallion that's letting him do it, not his innate abilities. That's something I really respect about the show. The heroes' abilities, like their musical instruments, are justified by the medallions. Plus, they're all flying in a blue blur, so it feels less out of place for Sonic to do it, because we can't see him flying in a silly flying stance and everything. It just looks like a flying blue comet, and it's cool, and it feels right. Manic plays the drums to make some stalagmites or stalactites fall from the ceiling to hurt the robots. I like that he has earth powers from the drum. It makes sense because when he starts drumming, it creates vibrations. So naturally a magic drum would amplify the vibrations. Plus, earth magic is kind of the opposite of air magic, which Sonic tends to have. So it's good that Manic contrasts someone he's so similar to that much. The bounty hunter goes into his airship and wants to bury the heroes regardless of whether Robotnik just wants them to be captured. It makes sense that he'd be genre savvy like that, but still, he should know his boss wouldn't appreciate him doing that. He's just angry. Manic's drumming earth powers sends the airship flying away defeated, with the heroes celebrating. And a cloaked guy says the heroes can use their powers whenever they wish. And Sonia asks if they'll ever defeat Robotnik. No! The show never gets a proper ending! Then it turns out that that same cloaked guy lives with Sonic's mom. If Sonic's mom lives with the Oracle, who regularly gives the heroes lectures about how to be better heroes, I don't understand why she doesn't just walk up to them and say hi. She broadcasted a hologram of herself to them just fine. Why doesn't she interact with them like that a lot more, since they miss her so much? They made a vow their mother would be found. Oh, here she is! If she loves them so much and she's with the Oracle like it's no big deal, why doesn't she just go up to them and say hi every now and then? Like, at least kiss them goodnight. I can understand that she wants to keep herself safe instead of spending all of her time with heroes in dangerous situations. She is the queen after all. But still, it seems like it's going to be a big long-term goal of the heroes to find their mother, and it turns out that she's right there. It's not like with what Sad AM was building up to with Sally wanting to find the king, and then it turns out that he's trapped in the zone of silence and he can't escape, so she really can't go reunite with him. This way it just seems pretty silly to me. So this episode was about Robotnik finding out where the Oracle lives because of his flying cameras. I guess that should be inevitable since they'd eventually stumble into his cave by accident, and there's plenty of caves in the world. But wait a minute, shouldn't the Oracle have some magical spell to send his cave into another dimension where it can never be found? Shouldn't he have his home on a floating island or something? I can't understand why Robotnik didn't find this cave years earlier. How long was he ruling? Anyways, the heroes find out from eavesdropping that Robotnik wants to threaten the Oracle with some robots. So instead of letting the Oracle defeat them himself, since he has magical powers like hologram generation and teleportation which could easily warp the robots away, the heroes go all the way to his cave, using Sonic's medallion to fly in a blue blur, and the Oracle lets them because I guess he just wants to test how competent they are. But he should have told them that to justify them going to protect someone much more powerful than them better. So he wants to test how competent they are, but it's more like how competent Manic is, because after he uses something he stole off screen unsatisfyingly to free them from a locked airship about to explode, Manic shows off a new medallion power of his. He can drum to use the vibrations of the drum to create earthquakes and send some rocks upwards. I like that because the dragon is an air elemental, it gets destroyed by a rock even touching it. It is a magical dragon after all, and while it seems silly because it's not like the rock smashed into it at light speed and destroyed it that way, it makes the most sense if you think in Pokemon logic. Rock beats flying types. And guess what that air elemental was? Plus it's a dragon, so it's more of a pure magical being than a regular being that would need to be attacked and injured. I mean, you'd think it'd also be a dragon type, but dragons are just flying types in the Sonic Underground universe. I wish that dragon was blue or gray instead of stereotypically green if it's supposed to be an air elemental. It just suits the air better that way. So, this was the first episode of the show, 3 episodes in, to have a fully fledged villainous plot the whole episode that the heroes go to stop, That isn't just about sending some surprisingly pathetic bounty hunters against the heroes for them to fail epically. I hope every episode will be of this structure from now on, because the first two were kind of boring with their pacing. Speaking of pacing though, that's something I can really compliment about this episode. Aside from the cheesy song about togetherness, I didn't feel like there were any times in the episode where it was complete filler that bored me to death with its pointlessness. No forced comedy to be seen anywhere, like Antoine's cowardliness, and there were no entire scenes of filler with slapstick in them. What a breath of fresh air. A Sonic show without tons of padding in every episode. Though it also means I have to pay a lot more attention to the episode when reviewing it because I often miss how the heroes won in the first place and have to rewind because it happened so quickly. I feel like Sonia nagging Sonic about his impatience and recklessness was kind of filler, but unlike with Sally and Sonic, her pointless bickering didn't drag on for far too long, or make him look just as immature as him in argumentative contradictions where she stamps her foot or something. She's just the serious person who really doesn't want to die in her dangerous situation, and that makes her the most relatable out of all the heroes, since Sonic and Manic are really chipper and lighthearted considering their dangerous situation. They're not showing moments where they're angsting because they miss their parents or their life or anything. Sonia does, but only for a few seconds.